Is Coke that's made with cane sugar better? President Trump's announcement about Coke was all over the news a couple of months ago.
President Trump says Coca-Cola has agreed to
switch from high fructose corn syrup to cane sugar.
I have been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real cane sugar
in Coke in the United States.
And they have agreed to do so.
This will be a very good move by them. You'll see. It's just
better.
He posted.
And then days later, Coca-Cola sent out a press release that said the company plans to launch an offering made with US cane sugar.
Coca-Cola made with American cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. Coming soon.
So what does that mean for your taste buds and your health? Well, today we're going to put regular Coke made with high fructose corn syrup to the test against Mexican Coke made with cane sugar to see if it really is just better. Let's start with the taste. This has been an ongoing debate.
Now let's see which is better.
Oh, the Mexican wins by so much. Pour this in the garbage.
I definitely agree. Mexican Coca-Cola is much better.
It just feels more refreshing and more authentic, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's better.
Can taste the difference?
Yeah.
I can't lie, it doesn't really taste any different. It just tastes like Coca-Cola to me.
Переплачувати абсолютно немає жодного сенсу, тому що, це 160 гривень, це 25, і це реально смачніше.
Tastes exactly the same.
You can definitely taste the fake sugar in this one, and this one just feels more legit.
If you want to do a taste test at home, here's the proper way of doing it. Take 3 cups and label them 1 to 3 and pour 2 of them that are the same and 1 that is different. Then give it to your test subjects and ask them to identify which one is different.
Tastes like Coke.
The more similar the samples are, the harder it is to tell them apart. And if they can't correctly identify the odd one out,
tastes like Coke,
then they can't taste the difference.
I don't know. I think that one, maybe. No, I don't know. It's tricky.
These two are different, I think. Now I've just got to work out which one this one fits into.
I think these two are the same. And this one's different.
That is incorrect.
Ah.
But if they do get it right, that means that they can taste a difference.
Yeah, that one's different.
That's correct. Do you have a preference?
Those ones are a little sweeter. So, maybe these ones?
That's normal Coke, so you prefer normal Coke over Mexican Coke?
Don't take it personally. I do actually quite like this one. I think I might prefer the more vanilla one.
You prefer Mexican Coke?
Oh, that's going to be a pain to get, isn't it?
I don't really have a preference. I'm maybe leaning towards this because it tastes slightly less sweet. It might just be the vanilla-iness of that.
So you prefer normal Coke, not Mexican Coke?
Yeah, I could believe it.
So the taste is slightly different, and which one you prefer is purely personal preference. But what's making it taste different? Is it just the sugar?
You can definitely taste the fake sugar in this one.
See, the Coca-Cola company doesn't ship Coca-Cola around the world. Instead, they ship syrups and concentrates to local bottlers who then combine those and make Coke for the local market. Johnny Harris made a video a few years back called Mexican Coke is a Lie.
This is where it starts to get really weird. In 2010, a group of legit scientists get together to do a legitimate experiment for a legitimate science journal, and they want to test soft drinks, including Coca-Cola. They want to know what sorts of sweetener are being used for each and how much of that sweetener is in each of them. So they gather a bunch of soft drinks, including a Mexican Coca-Cola and an American Coca-Cola, and they do all of their testing. And what they find is that the Mexican Coca-Cola actually has no sucrose in it, meaning sugar. All they find in this is glucose and fructose, the elements that are used to build high fructose corn syrup. What? In the Mexican Coke that came from a Latino market in East LA, they found no sugar. They only found the elements for high fructose corn syrup. What is happening?
And he went on to say that most bottlers in Mexico have now switched from cane sugar to high fructose corn syrup, except for one that exports to the US.
But I don't even believe that guy because of that study. I don't believe you, Mexican bottler. I don't believe that you're sending us cane sugar Coca-Cola anymore.
So let's run some tests. If we take some Benedict's solution, which is this beautiful clear blue, and then we add to that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops of normal Coke and give it a little jiggle to stir it and then heat it up. The Benedict's test tests for reducing sugars. So if there's any glucose or fructose in here, the sugars that are in high fructose corn syrup, it should change colour. And there it goes. It's got lots of that orangey precipitate in it, and that's because there's lots of glucose and fructose. We already knew that about normal Coke. We knew that it has high fructose corn syrup in it. It is listed on the ingredients. So now let's repeat that test with the Mexican Coke. Give it a mix and add the heat. Now, if there's only sucrose, which is cane sugar, it should stay clear blue. It's going really red. That means it doesn't just have sucrose in it, and that backs up what the study found. There's lots of fructose and glucose in this, just the same as normal Coke. So what's going on? The ingredients say cane sugar. So it should have just stayed that clear blue colour. Are they lying to us?
I don't believe you, Mexican bottler. I don't believe that you're sending us cane sugar Coca-Cola anymore.
To find out, we're going to have to make our own Coke. The main ingredient in Coke is water. Next, we need something to sweeten it, and we're going to use cane sugar. I've dissolved that in an equal volume of water to make a sugar syrup.
Let's go to sugar syrup. I like this bottle. I reckon, oh, I'm knocking everything. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoa, it's like 3.5 there.
Next, we need acid. And to make this, I boiled sugar and water until it got up to 160 C or 320 F, and then turned off the heat. And this is where the magic happens. The heat is off, we're not cooking the sugar anymore, and now I'm just going to add 1/4 teaspoon of phosphoric acid, which is the acid that they use in Coke. And look what's happening. It's bubbling and changing into this perfect Coke colour. Now once this cools, it's going to set up quite firmly, but I want to be able to pour it into the drink. So I'm going to add a little bit more water just to thin it down. Adding this sugary acid to the drink gives it the acidic flavour of Coke and also some colour. But it's not going to be as dark as commercial Coke because they also add food colouring, and we're not going to do that. What's next on the ingredients list?
Water, sugar, colour, food acid, flavour.
Well, that's very descriptive of the flavour.
Okay, so I'm trying to make the flavour.
Coke's flavour recipe is a closely guarded secret. As long as they only use natural flavours, they don't have to tell you what they are on the label. They can just list it as flavour, which is what they've done. Some people have suggested that there are 7 different flavours that combine to make that unique Coca-Cola flavour, but we don't know what they are. One of them is apparently spent coca leaves, which are the leaves used to make cocaine, so we obviously can't get hold of coca leaves. There's no cocaine in the Coke. They've taken that out first and are just using the leftover leaves. You can apparently swap those for something like bay leaf or green tea to kind of add a bit of that leafy flavour. But I've got a range of different homemade flavours here, which everyone can have a go at making Coke from.
I did actually think that it said koala nut first, but I was corrected.
Trying to guess a recipe from scratch when you don't even know what ingredients they used is very difficult.
All right. I think we're almost there.
This is a bit like an unsolvable puzzle. Speaking of puzzles, I've got one for you that will launch in the next episode of How to Cook That. If you missed the previous episode, the one that we've just had, make sure you go back and watch that because there's a hint in there that will help you know how to get started. Now, speaking of hints as to what's in Coca-Cola, there have been some studies done. Back in 2014, they studied the aroma compounds that were coming off Coca-Cola, and they found there were some aroma compounds that Coke had in common with aromas that you get from the oils of cinnamon, lemon, orange, orange blossom, coriander, nutmeg, and vanilla. But before you think that cracks the recipe wide open, that doesn't mean that those things are in Coke. It just means that they have some aroma compounds in common. For example, one of the aroma compounds that they found in Coke is eugenol. Now, eugenol is an aroma compound that you'll also find in cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. It's not water soluble though, so if you want to draw it out of those, you're going to have to put them in vodka, which is what you do for most essences. Now, we managed to draw eugenol out of that. You can tell if you drop some on your tongue, it makes your tongue go numb. So we know we've got the eugenol, but we've also got a lot of very strong clove flavour.
Whew. Wow. Oh my gosh. Ah, tastes like metallic Christmas flavour. Tastes like tinsel.
All of us ended up using the sugar and the acid, and I'll put all these recipe amounts on the website, but we all came up with quite different flavour combinations.
The flavours I used for my Coke were vanilla, ginger, coriander, clove, mace, cola nut, and clove vodka. That's probably as close as I can get.
All right. In Matt's Coke, we've got apple, orange, lemon, clove soaked in vodka, cinnamon, orange blossom, green tea, and then our final ingredient is vanilla. It's like a decent flavour, but I do feel like I need like a cola syrup now. I need a cola flavour to add in there.
My attempt at making Coke had the flavours cola nut, very clever of me, because of the cola, and vanilla. That's it. It's definitely not Coke, but unfortunately, I think it's as close as I'm going to get.
The flavours I used were the lemon, the orange, the cola nut, and a fair bit of just lemon juice with some water. I think I've got it pretty close.
And while to us they all seemed fairly close to the taste of flat Coke, which is what we were comparing it to, once it was carbonated, the results were not so good.
Oh. What's he done there?
Mine is not really similar. It's not great.
Mine tastes a bit more watery, maybe a little less sweet, but a little bit more lemony, but I think mine's pretty close. I'm still pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that one's worse than this one.
All right, and you are our last hope. Sort of the right sweetness, but it's a bit florally.
I feel like the first little taste was good, and then the aftertaste is really like punchy. I think it's the clove again. But at first it does taste quite a bit like Coke. I was hopeful for half a second.
I feel like the aftertaste might be slightly too gingery, but it's pretty good.
It's nice, but it's like medicinal, it's tree barky, it's not nearly as sweet as Coke. I don't think it really tastes like Coke a whole lot.
It's tricky. How do you get that flavour?
Keep in mind that carbonating it does change the flavour a lot. The more it's carbonated, the more acidic and crisp and less sweet it is going to taste. But we're getting distracted. What we really want to do is test the homemade Coke that we know only has cane sugar or sucrose in it. with the Benedict's test. Now, I'm going to test one that just has the acid and the sugar syrup in it and none of the flavours, just so that we have a clean version that's only got the sugar in it, and see what happens. Sucrose doesn't react with Benedict's solution, so this should stay a clear, bright blue. There's some orange precipitate forming, which means there is some reducing sugars present. But you saw me make this, it only had sugar or sucrose in it. It doesn't have as much in it as the others did. If we look at them side by side, this is the normal Coke, this is Mexican Coke, and this is the homemade Coke. And this is what we should have got if there was no glucose or fructose present. Can you guess what's going on here? High fructose corn syrup has two simple sugars in it, glucose and fructose. Cane sugar, on the other hand, has sucrose in it, and sucrose is made from a glucose and a fructose joined together. But Coke is high in acid, and that acid over time breaks the bond between these two and breaks it down into fructose and glucose. So the homemade Coke only had a little bit because we've only just mixed it with the acid. But if we could bottle it and leave it over a longer period of time, you would see the amount of the fructose and the glucose would increase. So they're not lying to us. The Mexican Coke is made with cane sugar, but over time the acid in it has broken that sugar down into fructose and glucose, which is pretty much identical to what is in the regular Coke. So why does it taste different then? Well, that could come down to maybe different water that's used by the local bottler, or maybe more or less carbonation. Any little change like that can make a little change to the flavour as well. So what about for your health?
High fructose corn syrup. That is poison. If you're going to drink Coca-Cola, drink a Mexican Coke, because they don't have it in it.
Choosing to drink Coke with cane sugar in it over regular Coke will not make any difference to your health at all. Choosing to drink tap water instead of Coke, that's a decision that both your body and your bank account will thank you for. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you share it with a Coke drinker. A huge thank you to all my patrons who support this channel. I really, really appreciate you guys. Make it a great week by being kind to others, and I'll see you on Friday.